What is up, family? Welcome back to the channel. It's Noel from Forging Strength. You're welcome to episode 1 of what I've titled Controlled Chaos. And I basically named it that just because of the essence that I wanted to carry, in the sense that this would be a journey of me going from about 195 pounds down to the mid 170s, where basically I'm going to be very lean at that point. I'm 5'10", just for reference, and I'm naming this series Controlled Chaos because, fundamentally, when you're in a calorie deficit, you're basically putting your body in a chaotic state. You're putting it in a state of deprivation in order to reap a certain physique look, a certain appearance, and also a certain amount of weight loss to a certain point is actually healthy for most people. If you're coming from a 30% body fat down to 20, you're most likely going to be a healthier individual overall. And so I'm already down from about 195 and 196 at my very heaviest. I think I saw that once on the scale, and I'm down to 190.6 this very morning. But as at the day of shooting this very video, filming this workout, I was about 192 pounds. And I'm still setting PRs. I actually set a PR on my first set, which you saw at the beginning of the video, which was a 240-pound machine shoulder press PR. What I'm doing right now is basically the idea of micro-loading, and it's working tremendously. I've been micro-loading plates gradually for weeks now, and I've been making all kinds of gains, like the hot twins used to say. I first heard of the concept of micro-loading from Kino Body, Gregor Gallagher, but I've never really experimented with it till now, and it's working for me. I'm pretty much the strongest I've ever been in almost every facet. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to try to eke out as much gains as possible throughout this cut, even though that's going to be difficult, but that's why I have that secret weapon, which is the micro-loading. So the goal will be to hold as much strength as I could possibly hold whilst coming down to about 175 to 177 pounds is probably where I'm going to end up, and then I could assess the physique from there and see what I would like to do. Most likely going to reverse diet, increase the calories up a bit, and then see how that will affect my training and my physique overall. And honestly, while still on the topic of training, I have drastically reduced my volume. Actually, on my main compounds, I'm typically doing just one set. So I build my way up to one set with very, very sub-maximal warm-ups. I do one top set, somewhere between RP 9 to RP 10, basically. So it's either I'm stopping one rep shy of failure, or I'm just going all the way to failure on that very top set. And then my next movements are typically the accessories, where I'm just doing like 2 sets, at a very high RPE, which basically is fostering a good amount of recovery. I'm noticing that I'm able to recover very quickly between workouts, and that is actually what is also playing a role in my ability to actually get stronger during a cut. And so the whole idea of, which I've done in the past, and I have actually propagated many times in the past, of like doing so much volume, doing so many reps per set, and doing so many sets per workout overall, it's not the best way to go, especially when you are a relatively stronger individual. You would lose strength, you'll be weak, and adherence to the diet will also be difficult, just by virtue of the fact that as you are trying to keep up with the high volume and the high reps and all of that, it's going to drive your appetite up significantly higher, and that's going to be difficult for you to stay in that calorie deficit, which is the main thing. That's the fundamental thing that it all boils down to as far as fat loss is concerned. And so stripping down the volume to basically maximal recoverable volume is what would be or would serve you better when you are in a cut. So I'm doing one top set for my main compound, and I'm doing 2 top sets for my accessories, and it's working tremendously well. I'm making gains, and so you should probably give that a try if you are noticing that your training and your recovery is interfering with your ability to stick to the diet and stay adherent to the calorie deficit. Now, as far as diet goes, I'm basically averaging about 2,300 calories on a day-to-day basis. Some days it's 2,200, some days it's 24, maybe 2,500, but the weekly average is probably around 2,300 calories. I'm having about 160 to 170 grams of protein per day. That comes from both animal proteins and plant proteins. I'm having cowpeas, black eyed peas, some people call it. I'm having chicken gizzards, chicken, eggs, egg whites, and all of that for my protein sources. I'm having potatoes, coconut oil for my fat sources, avocado, and things like that. And so that sums up the bulk of my diet. I'm also using intermittent fasting and fasted training as a tool in my toolbox. So I'm mostly breaking my fast between anywhere from 12 to 2 p.m. That's the sweet spot for me. If I'm able to get to 2 p.m. that day, the diet is just totally easy because I don't even have to battle hunger at all. But some days I break the fast slightly earlier, around 12. And as I said earlier, I'm also training fasted, even though I've propagated that you should not train fasted in certain scenarios, like when you're actually trying to bulk up and gain muscle and gain strength and trying to put yourself in the most optimal environment for that. Fasted training is probably not the best. But when you're cutting and your volume is relatively low, you don't need all that glycogen, you don't need all that carbohydrate. Your body can still be efficient in a fasted state. So I'm training fasted, black coffee, raw cocoa powder. Some people can argue that that's not totally fasted because of the cocoa powder, but I consider it fasted. Your body's going to burn through that really quickly and then you're back in a fasted state. So that's what I'm doing. I'm training twice a week, 2,300 calories, about 170 grams of protein. And as far as cardio, yes, I didn't talk about cardio. As far as cardio goes, I'm doing step count. I have a step goal. So I'm hitting an average of 14 to 16,000 steps every day. I capped it there because I noticed that sometimes when you try to push the envelope too much, there could be a boomerang effect where it will come back to affect your recovery and all of that. So I'm doing just 14 to 16,000 steps. So somewhere 15,000 steps in that ballpark. And that comprises of about 30 minutes of actual cardio on the treadmill, incline walking, to 15% incline for about 5.3 kilometers per hour, 3 days a week. So all of that is factored in the 15,000 steps per day. So I'll be dropping full day of eating vlogs as well as training vlogs. Let me know what you guys would like to see next in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.